Okay, recap for Wednesday the 18th of March, FOMC. All I can say is wow, 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 right? I did. The way I got this day wrong is crazy, right? I haven't been in this stage where I'm like, yo, it's a new learning day in a while, right? Because, I mean, my models are pretty solid, and typically when I use them, I don't get them wrong. But this time was different. I'll explain why. I'm just baffled. I'm just baffled. Like, technically the model is there, is the way that I was using it was just wrong, right? And I'm glad this day happened, even though I lost more than I would have liked, right? Even though I did expect it to be basically almost guaranteed a winning day. But you know, now I can see the gaps in the model and how to be more 100% with it and stuff like that. So I guess I'm happy that it happened, right? Because next time I'll make sure that I don't do the same mistake, right? And this is what trading is. You win, you win, you win, and then stuff changes. And then if you don't adapt to it, then you're gonna get cooked, right? So let's just rewind on what the market has done because FOMC is a PM session, right? On FOMC, I don't trade no London, no New York, nothing. I just trade past FOMC and see what we have left, right? And FOMC is one of them days where it kind of sets the tone for the next weeks. Like it has that potential where it could set the high for could set the all time high. It could set, you know what I'm saying? It's always one of them ones where it could make a turning point. That's why my expectation is for this week, right? Just seeing it that we are gonna manipulate higher, and we're most likely gonna make some sort of relative equal highs. So when Tuesday did that, I was like, alright, that's perfect. And then a typical FOMC would rate that and would close here. Right? This is how FOMC would done. It would literally go all the way up like that and close here. Then we'll have Thursday, Friday, and then next week distribution lower. I have my eyes on the low. I'm bearish overall, right? Like understand where the market wants to go. It just done it earlier than expected, right? It didn't use FOMC to do what FOMC is supposed to do, which is normally manipulation. Okay. So I'm just kind of watching out really for this week because the targets have been met. You know what I'm saying? Like we have met we have done the manipulation, we have taken the buy side, and we've taken the sell side. The question is, are we also gonna do what next week should have done? And let me just quickly check one thing. No, never mind. Because if the manipulation was gonna be us making them highs, right, get to here, relative equal highs, and then take it with FOMC and then start dumping, then yeah, we haven't met the objective for the week. But now, once we're looking for a retracement, we're looking for an expansion for the short lower, right? Mainly is ES taking the relative equal lows, right? Let me put the 4 hour right there, right? If because ES has already taken its previous weekly low, I'm looking for more. Even though with this SMT, I don't expect it to hold, right? So that's what I'm going with for tomorrow. Anyway, forget about tomorrow. Let's talk about today. How did we do? How did we deliver? There's nothing on the 4 hour. There's nothing really on the 1 hour. But on the daily, our main thing we were looking at is this daily CB, right? This is our first daily CB after all of this mess, right? This was the last one. Now we create another daily CB. Daily CB is strong, especially after like an accumulation or something. It could tell you that, hey, we might finally be doing something. So let's see how we're reacting or doing anything with it. We come on like Tuesday, get that high, relative equal highs, and then we expect the purge and then come back down, right? But the market, which is pissing me off these days, because it's generally just moving either in Asia, London, or even pre-market, and then New York is just left for scraps, so it's just kind of annoying, right? in terms of clean price delivery and like ranges. Like look at this clean run on Asia going all the way up. Then London accumulates, then pre-markets just dumps. See, and typically you're gonna have this dump at New York, right? Like I would expect, okay, cool. New York would be here. I take the short. I'm going all the way to these lows. But waking up is already done, right? Like this is where 9:30 opens. What are you gonna trade? There's nothing to trade there. Okay. So we fill the gap, right? And this is not one of them gaps that I care about us holding the midpoint or whatever, right? This is one of them gaps that I care about where we close on the daily and how do we react to it on the lower time frame. One of the best things to know if we're gonna disrespect the gap is when we go above it, just start accumulating and hovering on top of it. We don't really go much higher. I don't know. I noticed it. It's one of them things where we fill it and then we start accumulating, like building up all the position type of thing. And then we just aggressively, the second that we go into it, and especially when we leave it for good, right? And it's basically like it's just it's filled and now it's time to go, right? So I don't really expect too much with this high or this gap anytime soon. So, and yeah, we definitely have left that range. So if you're seeing this and you're like, all right, London High is not going to get taken, and then we dump, and then buy side here, and then we dump again, and then we accumulate and lunch, and we dump. And where do we go? We go to the, by the way, we're keeping in mind that we are short, we're bearish this week, right? It's just after FOMC. That's like typical thingy because I'm waiting for FOMC manipulation. I've had it before. That we gonna dump, especially because we have this large, opening range gap, or it's Mondays basically, opening range as well, regular trading hours that we expect to get into, right? Because they were made a crazy amount of sells like that we haven't been taken, and we expect at least midpoint of filling the entire gap, right? That's a big draw on liquidity, so we do expect to be bearish for this week. So when the market comes all the way down to the upper quadrant, right? So there, and that is 400 handles. To me, I think we're basically done for the day, right? We have exhausted, like even our PPI basically done nothing. I'm thinking we're exhausted, right? There isn't really much range that we're gonna have do for today, and then Thursday's gonna do this. So coming into FOMC, right? FOMC model is simple, right? You're just gonna have to wait for some sort of relative equal highs or relative equal lows that we're gonna engineer with FOMC when it's typical, right? This is not a typical FOMC day because a typical FOMC day is a two-stage delivery where the first stage, let's say this high, right? We come here, we create with the data high, some relative equal highs. Could be the PM session high, could be the lunch session, could be the AM session, could be London, could be whatever, right? We could take out something and just regardless, we're gonna create some sort of relative equal highs, all those. And then we're gonna start delivering against that. By the time 2:30 comes, it comes the second stage, and then we're gonna just deliver against these people. Like for example, if you're short, if you're long, right, in this, we're gonna make sure that you're taken out, and after we take you out, then it'll come back and reverse on the people that were short from the start of the FOMC. That's the typical two-stage delivery. This is my first time seeing a one-stage delivery at FOMC, and that's why I was kind of overconfident and lost more than I should have, right? So it adds to, I guess, to the experience back to know that hey, it's not 100% two-stage delivery. It could be one, right? And now I can know what the precursors of that are, right? Because FOMC is, like I said, it's going to target these session liquidities, or it's going to target an external expected liquidity, right? If we're looking for an external expected liquidity, like at this time, what do we have? Hmm, Well, we have these, right? These are basically what I have my eye on, guaranteed that it will deliver to this week. So we can put that in mind. Right? So I didn't have that on the chart because I didn't expect it, but this is how you trade it. I'm telling you how you trade it. It's sell side, right, and buy side. So now coming to the next FOMCs, I will have to rule out, is it gonna be a one stage or a two-stage delivery? Okay. See, my idea is today when we create this high, it never taken those, right? And these are just common relative equal highs. I wouldn't say they, you know, they're related to session liquidities. So these common highs have not been taken, and as you can see now, we have the relative equal highs. I'm like, okay, cool, we have relative equal highs. A nice gap that hasn't been traded into. That could be just the final draw on liquidity. That's how it came into this day, right? Just expecting a quick long to the highs, and we just close in this range. But let me tell you why it failed. Like I said, and added these highs and lows, I just literally start going back into 5, 6 FOMC days, and I'm like, okay, that's what I was missing in this model. There always are session liquidities, like the ones that I highlight in these colors, or an external liquidity, like this. Okay, so as you can see, if we just get rid of and keep our session liquidities, there's the London high there that I don't have drawn. Do you see any relative equal highs? No, no, no. So if there is no relative equal highs, then do we have relative equal lows? No, there's no relative equal lows. So we don't have any session relative equal highs, and we don't have session relative equal lows. Do we have external relative equal highs that we can get to? That makes sense based on the bias. Well, we're taking these. Okay, cool. Well, then there's these. Okay, that's fine. We can add that. That's to the midpoint of the opening range. We also have, if we're going to clear them, when we typically clear everything, we have these. Okay, so now the logic comes in fact, right? Because a typical one, you would wait for 240 right there. 240 is right here. And in terms of this entry for today, 240, we have an SMT with this low, right? We invest this gap and enter on the gap, right? And stopped out, right? Stopped out, and then that's why I said I didn't like losing more, is because I don't know why I had a re-entry thinking, okay, nah, this is definitely a sweep. It's gonna have to come higher. Oh, stopped out again. So 240 comes, right? And you want whatever can help you, right? Right here we have our first presentation of EM session. After 240, this is so essential, right? I'm looking at this and I'm seeing that, okay, this candle's closed very good inside it. I need to see the next two candles close above it. This goes all the way up, but doesn't close inside it. This one goes to the high and then starts dumping. I kind of knew at that moment something is cooked, something is wrong. But in my head, I'm like, trust the model, trust the model, trust the model. But the model ain't there to trust. So how am I trusting the model? So all I can say, I didn't know. I did not know. And yeah, that right there. Now that I will know what a one stage delivery could look like, I'd short. I'd actually short this. Like seeing this struggle now because okay, we went to this and I'm expecting that we're not gonna invest all of these and go higher. I'm expecting this come back right where it's either gonna come and take this low or ES is gonna come take that low, right? Which ES does at Where's the time? Feel lost. Right, which ES does take that low at 240, right? See, I'm expecting one of them to do it. Maybe slight chance YM. Anyway, it does that. That's what gets me in. But the fact that we don't close above should have been the precursor that I should know. Hey yo, it's a one stage delivery. But like I said, I've never seen a one stage delivery. It's kind of rare. And this day, if it's gonna show bearish, it would have typically have done that low. The only reason I'm telling you is doing the one stage because the target was far. Like if we were close to the target, like if this low was here, right? This is exactly how it go. And if that's our final target for the day, we're not looking lower. We would then went at this two candle made the relative equal lows. Slide heading higher. 230 would sweep again, right? Somewhere like here. And maybe 240 would do that same thing with it sweep again. And then we'd get that short all the way to here, right? And that's how the day ends. But yes, like I said, a learning day, right? And I'm not too mad, right? And knowing like before I would blow accounts on this day, I would really, really not just blow one, two, three, I would blow everything that I got. Just to like prove the idea that I'm right or something, I don't know, something weird. I would say losing more than I wanted, I guess, is better than even using accounts, right? Like I didn't even bother um using actual funded account. I just used an evaluation that was high up, right? Because expected to pass it on this day. Guess not. And I guess one other funded where I just entered low MNQs. Still lost more than I want, but it is what it is, right? It's progress. It's definitely progress because I know that typically, let's say I take this loss, right? I would enter this one over leveraging, trying to get the loss back and then the profit that I wanted. And then I'll keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. And it just never stops until I run through all the accounts and then realize after that, when I hear market is closed, what have I done? And I'm glad, even though I took a hit today, that I can say somehow I controlled it, right? And me finding out the reasons of why I'm losing is what stopped me from, I guess, chasing like the fact that I need to win, right? So like for any reason, a new FOMC day comes as a two-stage delivery. I mean a one-stage delivery, and I lose, and then after that realize, right? Let's say maybe at the time I'm just had this stuff wrong, and I realize I'm wrong. I know for a fact now I will just get off the charts, right? Because even shorting something like this is not worth it if you get in like a bad position, right? As in, I mean, to be fair, this wasn't too bad. Like if you just use the 5 minute, but on the 1 minute, I got stopped out or something. Or just Anyway, that's the market recap. I'm not too mad at myself. I'm actually happy that I went back through all the documents, I guess, or the notes or whatever on these FOMC days, and I found the error and be able to prove them all, right? And that goes the same with all the other days, right? I'm, it's not like I'm trading this. I'm closing much earlier when I lose, right? Because I realize what I'm wrong in much earlier, right? For something like yesterday, even though it was all out. I was trying to get this over leveraging whatever feeling or over leveraging, over trading or whatever, right? I was basically trying to force a loss, right? Because I haven't lost in a while now. that I'm trying to get this out of the system. So I got a new account. I'm like, I'm gonna show myself why today is a bad day to trade, right? Like because I had this urge feeling of just trading my accounts. I'm like, bro, this is a bad day to trade. And guess what? The results was a bad day to trade. Even though I couldn't even force myself to build that account because it was genuinely impossible. But it was just a bad day to trade, right? Today, I thought it was a good day to trade. However, I got my model wrong. I was blinded. I didn't see the stuff. So that's why I lost more than I should have because I couldn't accept that I'm wrong and trying to trust the model when I've done it wrong, right? So if I do something wrong and I don't know why, I'll keep trying to force it. That's my problem. But every time that I get these lessons where I'm like, okay, I can see why. Now I understand why. I notice that I'm less and less and less and less like doing these mistakes, right? I don't care. Like, I got it wrong. Fair enough. Get out. Before, it used to I get it wrong. Now I gotta make it right. No. Now that I know if I got it wrong, then you missed it. You missed the setup. You missed the trade. There's just no point, bro. Come back tomorrow. Like, I'm at a pace where I don't know. I'm guessing I'm still waiting for the market to be like normal to trade the actual funded accounts. But when I get these evaluations or whatever, I remember I used to take a month, like a whole month, up and down, up and down, up and down, and then I'll pass it. And then after I pass it, the next week, I'd go underfunded, unemployed. Then I do it again. It'll take me a month. It might take me a month and a half. Same thing. I get funded in the next week, upload. I've repeated that cycle like for 3, 4 months. And it took me 2 weeks, right? It'll take me 2 weeks to pass an account. Same thing. I couldn't get past that 1 week and upload because it keeps coming to right. I'm winning, 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 and then I know there's gonna be some just new stuff that I haven't seen, and I would just blow it on a day like this, right? Where I just lack the experience. It's not like I don't know what I'm doing. This day is just genuine me lacking the experience, and I wouldn't accept me losing, and then I would just blow that account that I've worked for a whole month. Now it becomes to a point where I don't care that much because the account at max might take me a week. Like, and that's me pushing it to pass. I wouldn't say trading the whole week. I'd probably because I'm using multiple accounts. Like, it'd be 3, 4 trading days. 2, 1, depending on the account. If I can pass it in one day, normally I'd wait like a whole week for like that perfect setup, and then just pass it in one day. So passing the accounts basically became not a problem, right? And it's not that deep if I blow an account. At least I have to learn something from it. And the psychology is picking up at the same time, right? Uh, That was the problem with my psychology. It was like, yo, I'd cook this account, then do the same cycle, and then start over trading. And then the next account that I buy, I basically instantly blow it, and then I have to lock in again. It's just, it's a mess. It's a mess of a cycle. Now, I'm in a position where I've hurt myself in an evaluation account. I really don't care about, and I know the fact that I have the ability to save it and save the other one that I was trolling on yesterday purposely, to be fair, and still pass those this month, right? And then come into the next month with 7+ accounts that I actually funded, and this time genuinely try get some decent payouts because I do have the ability. I'm working on the psychology, I guess. My models are improving day by day, and I can only see the days that are bad. And I would say I'm avoiding it. I'm not avoiding it fully because I don't know what the problem is really, but working on it. But I'm avoiding it by not using an account that I care about on them days. And then it keeps rewiring the fact that, yo, that's just chill out, right? It keeps rewiring the fact like you're gonna do this, you're gonna lose. And then I do this and I lose, right? But I'm doing it in a manner where I can protect myself, where it's genuinely just basically a demo to me. And I lose. However, I do learn. See, that's why I can't. I feel like that's why I keep doing these stuff, right? Like on a day like yesterday, even though it was just so bad, I can. Even though I went in with the intention of just it's free for either blow the account or make something out of it, I still learn stuff within that day. So that's why I can keep doing it. That's why I don't even miss these days, right? Bad days or whatever, because I want to be able to spot them. And if eventually I don't want to have the time where a good day is, and I would just waste it on an evaluation account rather than a funded account, and just literally use the bad days on these evaluation accounts, knowing what I know, knowing how max it could go, knowing blah blah blah, right? So it's a work in progress. By I don't know, now we're at the 18th of March. Give this 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 weeks. I'll be doing this for basically a year, and I hope by then that everything is basically ironed out. Right, by a year, I'm expecting that. I don't want to put the pressure on myself, I guess, but I should have reached the point where I'm like, I understand, basically, right? That yo, I'm done with messing around. I'm done with the experimentations and stuff. A year is more than enough time for experience, working on psychology, and all these stuff combined for me to be like, alright, now it's time to actually extract something meaningful out of this rather than keep just, I guess, playing around day by day, right? So, yeah, that's the market recap. How did it get to 27 minutes? I have no clue. I just started yapping. But it is what it is. Peace out.